Hi everyone, welcome back to our Crybaby Whims challenge. Before we start the episode, give me a second to vent because I'm very upset right now. So I recorded this episode already about a week ago, and then I don't really know what happened, but I managed to accidentally delete the footage. And this episode is the finale of this generation, and it turned out very perfect. So I'm genuinely really upset that I lost that footage. I'm even surprised I managed to have a backup of this save to even recreate it right now. So if I don't sound very enthusiastic while doing this, it's because I'm not, because I'm just really upset about what happened. But I want you to see it, so let me just recreate it for you, and I'll do my best to make it as entertaining as possible, even though I am really so deeply upset about this. But let's just get started. We have Flora here arguing with Thomas after realizing what happened with Ezra. He finally let her know that Ezra doesn't live here anymore, and that was definitely by his choice. So Flora is very angry. She is trying to force Thomas to tell her where Ezra is, but the problem is, first of all, he doesn't really care enough to let her know, but second of all, he doesn't even know. He was just like, yeah, I'm gonna put this kid for adoption, doesn't really matter whoever picks him up first, that's great, just get him out of the house. So he doesn't even know where Ezra is, and this is definitely very difficult for Flora, not just because one of her children is missing. She's also very tense because she was home while all of that was happening. She was in her garden working, trying to stay away from Thomas and his criminals, while the children were in the house. So she definitely feels very guilty because she didn't realize what was going on, and someone just came to the house and picked up Ezra and took him away without her even realizing. And now she definitely doesn't want to take that chance with Aspen. Aspen, who is currently getting ready for school, which I do need to stop her before she goes. Flora doesn't want her to be in the house with Thomas anymore. We'll deal with Thomas in a second, but for now we need to take care of Aspen. And Flora has decided to move Aspen with Olivia temporarily. Olivia would definitely want to help her, and Aspen is going to be staying with them for at least a couple of days to figure out what to do with this entire situation. Of course, she's not really telling Olivia the actual reason. She's just saying, oh yeah, things are a bit tough on the farm, it's kind of hard to balance everything. Can the kids kind of stay over here? Well, not the kids, because Ezra's missing. So she's saying to Olivia, you know what, Aspen can stay with you, and I took Ezra to another relative, so not everything is on you. And of course Olivia would agree. I mean, Aspen didn't really make the greatest first impression last time they met, but Olivia wants to do that for Flora, so of course she would agree. So Aspen is going to be staying in this household for a couple of days until Flora figures out what to do with Ezra, and especially what to do with Thomas, because kids are obviously not safe around him anymore. Looks like Thomas is inviting over his gross criminals, so she definitely doesn't really want to be around the house anymore. So why don't you go look for Ezra? She really does not want to be here. Anxiety intensifies. They're already like breaking everything. I just realized that things are actually missing in the house. This chair is missing, and this chair is missing. The graffiti on Aspen's wall is missing. Another thing is missing here. So they definitely are stealing things. Maybe it's even Thomas stealing things from the house, who knows. But Flora, you really don't need to be in this entire mess. You don't really have anyone to protect at home. Both of the kids are gone. I mean, Aspen in a good way, Ezra not so much. And she would definitely have to go door to door and, well, try to explain the situation in some kind of way that doesn't sound so crazy and so dangerous. So she would have to go literally door to knock on everyone's door, ask about Ezra. Have they seen him? Do they know where he lives? Does he maybe live with them? Has anyone adopted a child recently? And then she has to explain that she's actually the mother and that the child is not supposed to be there and that they need to give him back. It's not a very easy task, and I'm not actually going to load into every single lot and knock on the door, but let's just look through the map to see where Ezra is. So he's not in the house that's right across from us. We know that he is not with Natalie, probably find out from Natalie, so that's not a surprise. This next one, still nothing. Next up is actually Thomas's childhood home. I mean, would surely know if Ezra was there. In the village center, I think someone would at least tell her that they've seen her kid live somewhere, so I doubt that he's there, but still, let's take a little look. Still looks like it is nothing. So she looked around in Henford and Bagley, and then I think I'm gonna go to the worlds that are next to it. So let's start with Tortosa and Copperdale today. Then tomorrow, I think Evergreen Harbor and Del Sol Valley. And if he's still not in any of these worlds, I'm just gonna start from like the first one and then just go from here. I'm just going to these because they're like the closest on the map. I don't think that would work really geographically, but still, let's just pretend. So next one is Tortosa, which is a really small world actually, so this is going to be relatively quick. I mean, we know that he isn't with Olivia. It's where Aspen is right now. And we only have this one household here, but still nothing. And the other houses are empty. So let's move on to Copperdale. Let's see the Markovich family. Still no Ezra. The one next to it, nothing. No Ezra. Then here across, still nothing. And last one, looks like we have no luck finding Ezra today. She looked at the 3 full worlds. It took just like 2 minutes looking through the map, but in real time that would take a full day, so she can't look any further. See, that took literally the entire day. I think she started around 8 a.m. Now it's 9 p.m. and she's doing pretty poorly, but at least the house is empty now because Thomas has gone to, well, work or whatever, however you could call that. But you can take care of yourself kind of in peace and maybe, I don't know, clean up a little bit. It doesn't really matter because, as I said, the kids are not here, so it's not like she's doing that for anyone. But still, take care of yourself, do what you need to do for yourself. Right now, I think she is, well, she's obviously really, really mad at Thomas, but she probably would ignore him for just a bit. Maybe she would try to talk to him a little bit once he's back, try to convince him to tell her. She's probably really sure that Thomas does know where Ezra is, just doesn't want to say, even though he doesn't actually know, he doesn't care. But she's gonna try to push him to tell her. That's pretty much the only interaction they will have. But right now her priority is to find Ezra and nothing else. She doesn't really want to deal with Thomas currently. She has better things to do. So right now we're focusing on finding Ezra, and once she does find Ezra, we'll see what we'll do with Thomas, because things definitely can't keep going this way, especially not after this. But just chat with Olivia, ask how Aspen is doing. Did she go to school? Is everything okay? Because we know what Aspen's like. She probably tried to ditch school on the first opportunity, but I hope that Olivia can handle her. Her tense mood is going kind of down, so I guess she's hearing good news. Looks like Aspen is kind of adjusting relatively well. She's getting so tired and she's just running around for hours repairing everything, but you kind of do need to go to sleep. But because of the situation with Thomas, she really doesn't really want to even sleep in the house anymore, so she set up her own little area in the garden, which is honestly really sad that she needs to sleep in the garden in her own house, kind of sheltered behind her flower arranging table, so the criminals can't even really see her that well while she's sleeping here. She doesn't really want to get into any sort of conflict with Thomas. She wants to stay away, find Ezra, and then she'll do what she needs to do. I don't think she really ever expected this to be happening to her. Meanwhile, Thomas is back with his friends, if you can call them that, so I think that Flora's hard work will be going to waste because they will immediately run to either steal something or break something. So yeah, there's not really even a point. See, this guy is just breaking stuff already. Are you going to steal something? Did you just steal a family photo or something? Oh, I think she just stole like a generic photo that was maybe like right here, but I am getting worried. I probably should put away family photos. I can't really recreate these anymore, so I really do need to put them away maybe. Flora is still sleeping. No one's really bothering her in the garden area, and hopefully it's gonna stay that way. She's not really feeling like sleeping that much. Of course, she's thinking about Ezra and how to find him the most. But the thing is, she has to knock door to door, and a lot of people see her, a lot of people speak to her. So if she looks really disheveled, they might not want to tell her the information. She doesn't need to sleep. She doesn't need to take care of herself, not because she feels like it, but she needs to leave a good first impression. Who knows, maybe she even knocked on the door that Ezra is staying at already, and they didn't want to tell her because she's looking looking a little bit suspicious, so she does need to be well taken care of. Oh, you know what? Actually, do you work today? You work at 7 a.m. and I don't want her to not go to her job. She literally just got this job and she's already not really showing up that much, so she does need to. Where are you going? See what's happening. Oh no, yeah, it's good that you kind of gave up. You really don't need to see any of that. I'm just gonna send you on a jog or something so you're like away from the house. I think that would be a good idea. I will have to send her to work because she just got this job. She's not really showing up already because there's so much stuff going on in her life, but she can't just not show up today. So I am thinking that she will actually have to go look for Ezra after work, which is a little bit ridiculous. It's really not the priority right now, but she doesn't really have much of a choice. She just started this career. Otherwise, I would probably have her take a vacation for a couple of days, but right now she doesn't even have that much vacation time. It's only 2 days and she actually used up one yesterday, so I don't think that taking time off work is possible for her right now. So Flora is off to work. Thomas is still hanging out with his criminals. Oh, this is really bizarre. I don't really know how to feel about it. One of Thomas's gang members is texting him that he likes him. Do you feel the same way? I think Thomas just wants to get it on with pretty much anyone at this point, so it doesn't really matter. He's just gonna say, yeah, I like you too, I guess. Sure, let's... I mean, woohoo is one of their club activities, so I don't think he would really mind that much. Yeah, that gave them a bit of romance. Oh, and I didn't realize that Megan was actually Eric's wife. So he's just, as in Thomas, is just like a third in their marriage at this point. That is weird. I don't really know how to feel about that. I just didn't expect Thomas's story to go in this direction, that's all. Flora is back from work, very far from the house, but she actually even got promoted. So despite everything that is going on, she's actually thriving at her job. Oh, and you're thinking about Natalie, that's really nice, but we don't really have time to think about Natalie. Oh, you are on your phone. You know what? You should, before you go anywhere, chat with Olivia some more, see how Aspen is doing, and then we need to go look for Ezra for sure. And I said today we'd be looking in Evergreen Harbor and Del Sol Valley, so let's go to Evergreen Harbor first. And this house is first. Let's see. No Ezra. The next one, Munch household. No Ezra. Oh, and we have these two apartments, right? I can't miss those. So let's see in the apartments. Nothing and nothing. Moving on to the other neighborhood. Let's check that out real quick. Nothing, nothing, and still nothing. Now let's see some more apartments. No luck here. This big house, let's see. Still nothing. I think this is actually one of Thomas's brothers that lives here. That's interesting. Oh, it might not be actually a brother. It might be... Is that Colby? That's Aspen's... Yeah, that's Aspen's... Well, Aspen Senior, Thomas's sister. That is her child. Oh, good for him living in such a big house. But anyway, let's move on to the last household and nothing. Oh, Riley lives here. That's interesting. And now moving on to Del Sol Valley, which is going to be quite quick, isn't it? So let's see in this neighborhood, nothing. And in this big celebrity neighborhood, I'm kind of hoping that he's not here because we might not have access to the houses, so it's going to be quite difficult to get him from here. So let's see. Bailey Moons, nothing. Crossing household, who is that? Well, nothing, doesn't matter. And the last one, nothing. Again, that took a couple of hours, but it's not really that bad because Del Sol Valley was a relatively small world, so we still have some time to try and force Thomas to say something, literally anything, before he runs off to work to hang out with his crew, which is in 2 hours. So you have a bit of time to try to reason with him and get the truth out of him. I don't really think it's going to work, but you can still give it a go and see if anything happens. That's pretty much the only thing that she wants to talk about. We'll get to this, maybe some of this, who knows. But right now, Ezra is the only priority, so she needs to find out what is happening with that entire situation. again. Interesting that Thomas is saying some things are hard to forget or forgive, okay? Yeah, Thomas, I would definitely agree. I mean, yeah, she did forcefully bring him back to life, so that is a pretty big deal. But so is this, so you're definitely not the only victim here. You know what, Thomas? Just go to work. I really don't want to look at you anymore, so just leave. Flora, you finally have a second to take care of yourself, but you can't even go to the bathroom because the toilet is broken. So repair that, and then you can actually take care of yourself and clean up the house and everything. It's just such a pointless task at this point, but she needs to do these things to take care of herself and live relatively properly still. In the morning, she goes to work, and then afternoon, she looks for Ezra, and evening, she cleans up and repairs the house. And it's just a constant loop over and over again. That is so sad, honestly. And now she still has to like go and sleep in the garden. I know that the bed is currently available now, and it's gonna be for another couple of hours until Thomas is back. Oh, she doesn't even want to spend time in their bedroom to remind her of the times that are completely gone at this point. Like, this is never going to be happening again. And of course, she doesn't want to sleep in the bed that he uses to woohoo with everyone. So ew, no. Flora is up already and feeling very tense, immediately starting to clean up. She wants to get stuff in order before she has to go to work again. Do you work today? Oh, you don't actually. You work in 2 days. That is pretty good then. So you have plenty of time to look for Ezra. Maybe we can go in a couple of extra neighborhoods and not just 2 or 3. Oh, and it's a love day today. Really? Oh, but you're so tired and stinky. Did you not sleep at all? I actually didn't realize that. You really need to take care of yourself then. I need you to go to sleep. She can't make such a terrible first impression on whoever she talks to today while looking for Ezra. She slept for a couple of hours. I think this should be good enough. So let's just have you maybe go to the bathroom, and then you need to continue your search. And let me see, Thomas is actually awake, so you need to hurry up and get out of the house, which sounds really bad, and it is really bad, but before he invites his criminals, so you don't have to look at them, so kind of hurry up. She's already just so mad to even be around the house, to be around him, because you're so right, Thomas is going to invite all of them, especially in Love Day. He's dating like 3 out of 4 of them. I think she just really doesn't like Dustin, that's about it. So he's gonna have a great Love Day. So we looked in all of these worlds, and since it is her day off, I think she has enough time to actually look in a bit more. So instead of just these two, I'm also going to include Windenburg, because Windenburg is a huge world, so she definitely needs extra time, and she has that on her day off. So let's just get started with Willow Creek first and start looking. So Villarreal household, nothing, but I think someone here is related to her maybe. This big house is empty. This house, I think this is where Justin and Annette lived way back in the day. Maybe, I'm not sure. But nothing here. Lauren's family home where she grew up. Oh my gosh, imagine if he was here. He isn't though. Now in Flora's childhood home, nothing. We would probably know he was here, but it would be quite interesting. Right across the street from here, nothing. And these 2 houses are empty, so let's just move on to down here. Scott family, nothing. Beda, nothing. I think this woman is also related to her somehow. She gets phone calls from her all the time. Right across the street, nothing. And the last house here is Ezra. That's him. That's Ezra. She finally managed to find him. And the interesting thing also is that she was fishing here for the angelfish. She walked by this house so many times. And I mean, of course, she would never even think that one of her children would end up living here even briefly. So let's go knock on the door and demand him back. Just give him a hug. You really need to do that right now. He's probably feeling like a bit resentful to his mother as well. He doesn't really know that Flora didn't have anything to do with all of that, so she's definitely having to apologize quite a bit and convince him that everything is okay. But let me just look at the house. It seems to be completely like full of elders and people dying and stuff. Really not the best environment for children. They gained a sentiment immediately. Even though Ezra was really upset about all of this, he really missed his mother. She just hates the conditions that he is in, and I'm pretty sure that he's not happy here either. He's getting sick. She can't stop hugging him as well. That is just so sweet. But knock on the door just to see what the conditions in this house are. Of course, he's gonna be going with her. I mean, people are literally like dying here right in front of the house. So is he living in some kind of like senior home or something? What is the situation? Why do these people have this child? Oh, they can go to court over the custody decision. Wait, that is really intense. But that probably means that this person has custody of Ezra. That is a good point. Let me just check on the rest of the house. It's all just old people, and it's just such a terrible house as well. You need to go speak to this guy right here and decide on the custody. I'm not gonna send him to court, even though I probably should. He's even very uncomfortable. These are not really the best conditions to be raising any sort of child, especially not sweet little Ezra. So who will have custody of this child? It is definitely going to be Flora, and I feel like this guy is in way over his head. He has like 5 elders and a child to take care of, and people are like dying constantly. He probably needs to get rid of him. He would gladly give Ezra back. So Ezra is going to be in custody of Flora. So the custody has been decided. Ezra is back in the household, and she's gonna send Ezra to Olivia as well. She did say to Olivia it's just going to be Aspen, but now she can say, oh, I changed my mind, you know, twins should be kept together, so I'm just gonna give Ezra to you just for a couple of days. It's gonna be okay. I just need another day or two to sort some things out. And I mean, Olivia really loves Flora. They were really close for their entire childhood, teen years and everything, until things started falling apart for Flora. So she would absolutely say yes. And Flora promised Ezra that he doesn't have to see Thomas ever again. She's gonna have all of this sorted out. He doesn't have to be scared or anything. So just go and be with Olivia for a couple of days until she comes to pick you up, and everything will just be good and normal. That is her promise to both of her children. Aspen doesn't really care that much because she loves how things are currently, but Ezra really needs all of the love and patience, especially after all that happens to him right now. So she is back home, and Thomas's friends are actually just getting ready to leave, so the timing of that is pretty great. Thomas is just so exhausted after such a productive day that he's just taking a nap. Okay, whatever. Flora is already like fixing toys up and getting stuff ready for the kids to come back, but what is going to be happening now? They can't really... Oh, she's immediately so happy after finding Ezra, and of course she's not going to say anything to Thomas because she does need to figure out what is she going to do with Thomas. They obviously can't stay in a relationship together. That possibility is long gone. So what's going to be happening now? Of course they will break up and live separately, but what's going to be happening with the farm? She knows that she can't make Thomas leave. He wouldn't leave consensually. There is no way, and she can't just kick him out because, I mean, he is kind of scary. He knows all of these really tough, scary criminals, and it's a bit of a scary situation. If he was capable of doing this with Ezra, who knows what else he is capable of, right? And I don't think that Thomas will really mind the breakup, but I don't think he would really agree with Flora actually leaving, because that would mean that she wouldn't be doing this anymore. She wouldn't be cleaning, cooking, doing everything. And once that realization hits Thomas, I think he would lose his mind and then do who knows what. And Flora absolutely doesn't want to actually leave her farm, leave everything behind. But even if she did move, she's kind of scared that Thomas would be able to find her and the kids and harass them basically for their entire life. He has connections everywhere, so it would probably be easy for him to find them anywhere. But for now, wake up Thomas and have a conversation with him, at least about your relationship. But for Ezra's safety, she is not going to say anything about finding him. There is no point. But Flora has decided there is no way, there's no point. We need to break up. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. You're not the person who you were before. You're a ghost of yourself. But for now, she's not gonna mention moving or anything. She's being really tiptoey about this entire topic until she figures out what's the safest thing for her and the children. So Flora is putting an end to her romantic relationship with Thomas, who is looking kind of sad. So maybe it is kind of a realization that things will not really be as they were before. So he is probably a little concerned. Who's gonna be doing all of the housework for him. Thomas is definitely taking out his anger on everything that he can in the house. Oh, Eric wants to go on a date. Let's absolutely not do that right now. But he's taking out his anger on everything that he can in the house. He's just kind of kicking and hitting everything and breaking everything, especially on the items that are meant for the children, it seems like, which is a very, very concerning sign in my opinion. So he can really never spend any time with the children ever again, because this is looking really, really questionable. And Flora is noticing that. She's immediately off to repair the dollhouse, and she's seeing, okay, Thomas is being really violent with this. This is a little bit concerning. How about we try to just vent a little bit, have a relatively normal evening, maybe sit together, eat some food. We've not done that in forever. Try to find some common ground. So let's just go sit. I made some dinner and talk things through. So let's just sit and eat. See, I made some amazing food, so grab a plate. So she's gonna try to start a conversation with him, see how things will go. Maybe not apologize, that's a bit too far, but try to have a relatively normal conversation. Maybe he has something to say. Maybe you haven't really heard much that he's thinking and feeling, but oh no, what's wrong? Thomas is feeling a little bit sick from the food. I wonder why that would be. I wonder what happened right there. Was the food maybe not right? Oh, well, it seems to be poor quality. Poor Thomas, right? Looks like she had a plan up her sleeve. The food, quite amazing, isn't it? Thomas is going back to where he came from. Maybe if Grim has some pity on him, he lets his body reunite with his soul and rest in peace. Finally, the real Thomas would hate what he became, so hopefully he can rest easy after having this be ended. So Thomas, the evil version of Thomas, is gone. Now you need to release his spirit so he never gets a chance to be back. So I'm okay with releasing the spirit. Flora definitely wants that. She's realizing finally death is inevitable. It's happening to everyone. She is a little bit scared, but this is how things are supposed to be. That is Thomas gone, and Flora's troubles kind of over. She doesn't have to worry about Thomas finding them, but the problem is that she realized right now is that the life on the farm is also over, because the criminals know where Thomas lives and they will notice that he's missing tomorrow, and they'll probably come looking for him right here. So she can't just stay here with the children. They would come over probably constantly and harass them to find out what happened to their friends. So maybe this decision was a little bit rushed and she didn't think it through, but now she needs to run away with the children. If you want to see the next episode, which is going to be first episode of Generation 3, you can click right here to watch that. Thank you so much for watching Flora's story. I hope you enjoyed it and that you will join me for Aspen's generation. Goodbye!